Quiet now, everybody. Quiet, listen to me. We're going to start a show. Now, some of you people have been with me before. You know it's going to be a tough grind. You're going to dance until your feet fall off. You're not able to stand up any longer. But we're going to have a show.
Welcome to the Big Door Podcast. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a really fascinating hyper-local market you asked us to look at, Norwell, Massachusetts. And we're zeroing in on the December 2025 real estate update. So single-family homes, condos, the whole picture.
Right, and that December data is, it's often where the truth comes out.
How so?
Well, it just strips away all the spring and summer frenzy. It shows you what people are really willing to do when things are supposed to be quiet.
Okay, so let's get right into it with what I found to be the most shocking number in the entire data set.
I think I know what you're going to say.
If you were a buyer in Norwell at the end of 2025, you were, frankly, out of luck. As of the end of December, there were exactly 0 active listings.
0.
Not one,
No.
across any price point.
And that number, it isn't just a fun fact. It's a massive signal.
That's a signal.
It signals extreme scarcity. I mean, it's not just a seller's market at that point. It's like a seller's monopoly. Any buyer going into January is basically just waiting for a single tap to be turned on, hoping they're first in line.
We talk about inventory droughts, but, 0 is something else entirely.
It's theoretical almost. It means every single thing on the market is spoken for, under agreement, closed, gone. Nothing is sitting idle.
So, with nothing for sale, what actually happened? What sold? Let's look at the closings.
Okay.
The data shows 9 properties sold in December, all single-family homes. And that created a total market volume of just over $9.3 million.
$9,309,000, yeah. A lot of money moving right before the holidays.
And for those 9 sales, the median sale price landed at $859,000.
Right, $859,000. But here's the interesting part, for context. The median list price for those same homes was $889,000.
Wait, hang on. If there's literally nothing else for sale, how is the median sale price lower than the list price? Shouldn't every single house spark a bidding war?
That is the perfect question, and it gets to the real tension in this Norwell market.
Okay.
It shows that while inventory is non-existent, buyer discipline is not. Buyers might be hungry, but they're not foolish. That little drop in the median tells us that negotiations are still happening.
So people aren't just blindly chasing prices.
Exactly. They're still looking at the details, maybe post-inspection, and getting a bit of a discount before they close the deal.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about the pace? The median days on market for those 9 homes was 38 days.
38.
Is that fast? Slow? What does it tell us?
It's that interesting middle ground. It's definitely faster than a normal balanced market, but it's not instantaneous. It's just long enough for a buyer to do their homework and, crucially, apply some pressure on the seller.
So if it goes in under 2 weeks, that's a bidding war.
That's pure bidding war territory, yeah. But at 38 days, the buyer has a little more leverage.
And the imbalance between what came on the market versus what sold is, it's just staggering. 9 properties sold.
And only 2 new ones were listed.
2 in the entire month.
Think about that ratio. Sales outpaced new inventory by more than 4 to 1. The few homes that did get listed were just, devoured.
Yeah, the data says those 2 new listings took an average of only 11 days to get an offer.
See, that's the key right there. If a property is priced correctly and shows well, this zero inventory world means it's gone in a flash. The market is aggressive for the good stuff.
Which brings us to the tales of those 9 sales. It really feels like 2 different markets are happening at the same time in one town.
That's a great way to put it. It's a bifurcated market. On one side, you have these instant successes with bidding wars. On the other, you have homes that just linger, and they pay a price for it.
Let's start with the exciting ones, the ones that sold for a premium, even in December. 110 Parker Street, a 4-bed cape. It was listed at $1,195,000. It sold for $1,215,000 after just 9 days.
$20,000 over asking in a little over a week. That's the dream scenario for a seller.
And it gets even crazier. 348 Main Street, a 3-bed colonial listed $995,000.
Under that $1 million mark, that's a hot spot.
It flew to $1.1 million after only 13 days.
Wow. Over $100,000 above list? That's what happens when zero inventory meets a perfectly priced home. It's pure buyer panic.
And it wasn't just the million-dollar-plus homes. 665 Grove Street, a 4-bed colonial, was listed at $779.
And it closed at $850,000 after 18 days. Still very strong.
So those 3 homes show you that anything priced well under about $1.2 million just gets snapped up.
They're immune to that negotiation trend we saw in the median. If you price it right, you get a premium. That's one side of the river.
But then there's the other side. What happens when a seller misses the mark? This is where that buyer discipline really shows up.
It's the cautionary tale. Buyers will wait you out if they sense a property is overpriced or has issues, and they expect a discount for their patience.
Let's look at a dramatic one. 25 Gendarme Place, a 3-bed colonial. It was listed at $799, $900.
Okay.
It took 103 days to sell, and it finally closed for $680,000.
Oof. Over $100,000 drop in almost 4 months on the market.
What does that tell you?
It says buyers will not pay a turnkey price for a project house. Just because there's nothing else for sale doesn't mean they'll overpay for something that needs work. They'll wait. And the stigma of a long listing gives them all the power.
We see the same story with 62 High Street, listed at $649, sold for $590 after 69 days.
Yep. The lesson is clear. That 38-day median mark is like a deadline. You cross it, you're no longer in a bidding war, you're in a tough negotiation.
And this even happens at the very top. The biggest sale was 37 Tower Drive, closed for over $2.3 million.
A huge sale, and it moved fast, only 22 days.
But it still needed a price cut of $74,000 to get it done.
Exactly. Even the luxury buyer who can move quickly isn't just writing a blank check. They are strategic. They negotiate before they even get to the closing table.
So the takeaway for buyers and sellers is there's no room for error. A seller has to be perfect on pricing to get those fast over-ask offers.
And for a buyer, it gives you confidence. If you see a house that's been sitting for 40, 50 days, you know you have room to negotiate no matter what people say about the crazy market.
Which is a perfect setup for the leading indicators. What's pending, and maybe more importantly, what failed to sell at all.
This is where we see the future of buyer behavior playing out.
Okay, so 2 properties went pending in December. One was in the mid-800s. The other was a big luxury home, over $2.5 million.
Right. But here is the critical detail that proves everything we've been saying about buyer discipline.
What's that?
Both of them needed a price reduction before they went under agreement.
Both of them?
Both. We're talking an average price drop of almost 7%. That averages out to a $125,000 reduction just to get an accepted offer.
$125,000 on average? That's huge. In a market with no inventory.
It confirms it. The negotiation is happening up front now. Buyers are seeing the data from houses that sat on the market, and they're making aggressive demands from day one. It's a real sign of leverage.
And then you have the flip side. The inventory that just failed.
Mm-hmm.
The expired and canceled listings.
This is the pile of listings where sellers pushed too hard and the market just said, nope.
The data shows 4 properties were pulled off the market in December.
And these weren't starter homes. The average list price was, get this, $1,712,000.
Wow.
And the real kicker, the average time they sat on the market was 166 days.
166 days. That's more than 5 months. What a waste of time for those sellers.
It's brutal. And that represents almost $7 million in real estate that just couldn't find a buyer at the asking price. It tells you the high-end buyer is absolutely not desperate, they are patient, and they will not overpay.
So why do you think those high-end listings sit for so long?
Well, it's a few things. You have fewer comparable sales, so a seller can justify an aspirational price. And they believe their specific, unique home is worth waiting for the right buyer.
But the data says it's a losing strategy.
A huge losing strategy. The penalty is 5 months of carrying costs and a failed sale. You're basically paying the price for trying to be the first one to set a new price record without the data to back you up.
So let's tie this all together. The Norwell December market is 0 active inventory, which creates these fierce bidding wars for perfectly priced homes.
Right.
But at the same time, buyers are incredibly disciplined, and they are forcing major price cuts on anything that lingers, especially in that luxury space.
That's the whole story. The tension between scarcity and discipline is what defines this market right now.
So what's the big question for early 2026?
Well, based on that pending data, with those huge upfront price cuts, the question isn't about inventory. We know it's going to stay tight. The real question is, will buyers become even more aggressive? Having seen all these successful negotiations, will they start demanding discounts on almost any property that lasts more than 30 days?
That's a fascinating thought. That push-pull is really what sellers need to be ready for.
Absolutely.
If you have any questions about this episode, or if you are thinking about buying or selling a house anywhere on Boston's South Shore from Southie to Sagamore, give Jim Aldred a call. He would love to speak with you, and he wants to provide you with the guidance and security to help your family move on smoothly. Thanks for listening, and catch you on the next episode of the Pink Door Podcast.